This is Pamela Wirth with Encourage Your Wellness Podcast. And today I have Shira Nicks with Shiralign. And I have known Shira since we were wee ones. And it's been so fun to see you grow and evolve over the years. And so excited to talk about Shiralign. Tell us a little bit about your background and what is Shiralign?
Awesome. Okay. Hello, everyone. Pamela. I call her Pammers. I don't know if that's okay or not. I'll try to refrain. We've known each other very, very long time and watched each other grow. So I feel the same about you, watching you just get out there and just make things happen, make the world a better place. So thank you for that. Yes, I started, my background is actually, I have a undergraduate degree, Bachelor of Science in Psychology. Always been very interested in how the human mind works. And I was in graduate school for about 3 years in the Masters of Individual Counseling program at University of Phoenix. I didn't end up finishing. I was like right up until the end and realized that it wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. I found myself more curious about how people work than just sitting with all the problems. It was tough for me to sit with everyone and I just want to solve everything. And a lot of times we just sit with our problems and we keep rehashing them over and over again. And I was in my the part of the counseling program where we're actually seeing clients and kind of realizing this isn't the route that I'm wanting to take. So kind of took a step back. And in that time, I ended up becoming a mom. I have 3 daughters. So I was very focused on my girls and raising them. And in 2008, I started a nonprofit charity for moms. And the idea, our mission was to connect moms to help each other and other families in the community. It did kind of strike a chord, I think, with a lot of other moms. We grew pretty quickly, which wasn't really intended on my part. And all of a sudden, I'm running this organization. That was in 2008. We still have our 501c3. Most of our attention now is directed towards our kids. My girls, who were, 2 and 3 when I started, are now running the Angel Kids organization. So I helped a ton of families through Phoenix Children's Hospital during cancer treatment. So a little bit of my counseling background there, and got very much into yoga during that time as well, and ended up getting my certification. I believe that was 2015. And I launched a program called Spark Kids from there. It was for girls ages 11 to 15. I taught them yoga and mindfulness. We had a sister circle where we would all, sit and chat. These girls in the class were, it's that age where there's lots of drama and so many things going on. And these kids really didn't have the ability to relax or prepare for tests or get through, issues with friends or whatever was going on in their lives. So we talked through a lot of those things and worked together with other, kids, kind of a group effort. And that really got me interested in mindfulness and meditation during that time. And I took my first Yoga Nidra class, which is what I teach now, and was desperate to find a place where they had this again. It was like one of those random classes that they just offered as a pop-up at a studio. And, I did research for several years, just trying to find classes. I actually found a program. And I was very interested, never kind of hit the go button on it until it was just time. And so I went through a training program through the Amrit Institute over at the Southwest Southwest Institute of Healing Arts, and absolutely loved this program. Yoga Nidra is a deep sleep meditation, and it was a perfect blend of my psychology training and mindfulness and yoga and spirituality. And so there were so many aha moments during this class. It was unbelievable. And that was in, let's see, just before COVID that I graduated. And then I went on to get my advanced certification after that. And so I've kind of gone to the level that I can go at least with Yoga Nidra, and then became very interested in frequencies. And so I became certified in sound healing, the sound bowls, crystal sound healing bowls. So not sure if you're familiar with any of it, but I'm happy to explain it all.
Yes. So what are sound bowls? Okay. What is frequency?
Okay.
Who is it for?
Right.
Like, okay. What happens to you?
Okay. So let me just start by saying I was always one of those people that very science driven. I wanted to actually see the results always with anything that I do. So a lot of this was kind of woohoo, a little bit out there for me. And slowly over time, it's obviously very much resonates with me now. But I sort of see myself as this gap between mainstream, everyday life, people who are just trying to deal with stress, but really not into the spirituality of yoga and meditation and all of that. And so I really sort of found my calling. I'm somebody that you can go to. I'm not going to make it that woohoo for you. So the way that I like to explain it is more scientific. For Yoga Nidra meditation, I know it's a little deceiving with the word yoga, but it is a deep sleep meditation. You are lying down on your back the entire time. I take you to these very deep sleep states, these brainwave states. Everything is associated with your brainwave activity. And so we start, where you and I are right now. And as soon as you close your eyes, you're already dropping. And what I do is guide you through these sequences. They are breath and body awareness sequences. And each one of those sequences is associated with your brainwave activity. And I'm just taking you into these lower and lower states, into that deep sleep state, which is a little, delta, theta brainwave states. And the sound bowls is sort of secondary and sort of it just enhances everything else that we're doing with the Yoga Nidra. Each of the sound bowls, I'm sure I don't have one on me right now, but they're crystal sound healing bowls. And it's similar to when you have a glass of water and you play with your finger on the outside of a glass of water and it makes that high pitched singing noise. Each of these bowls are tuned to a frequency that's associated with a different chakra in your body, which is an energy center in your body. So as I'm playing, you may start to feel these sensations in the body. There's one obviously for your crown chakra. You have your heart, your third eye, your root, your solar plexus. And each time I'm playing those, they're aligning with that same frequency in your body. And so it's just increasing the healing, increasing the energy flow. We have a lot of stuck energy in our bodies as humans. When we move through an experience, oftentimes the energy is not moving through our body. It gets stuck. So a whole other element to get into there in terms of how it manifests in the body. But what I do is help to release the stuck energy in the body. In turn, it is going to deeply relax the body. Once you're in those very low brainwave states, you may be going kind of like in and out of awareness, and in terms of like sort of going in and out of these dreamlike states. Some people stay alert the whole time, and it's just their body that goes out. But in those really deep states is where all the healing happens. And so we are cycling through these states during sleep at night, or we're supposed to. But a lot of us aren't getting there anymore. We're not sleeping. We're not getting to these deep phases of sleep anymore like we're intended to. So Yoga Nidra is actually, it's not going to take the place of sleep, but it's definitely a supplement. One class that I do, which is about 40 minutes of Yoga Nidra, is equivalent to 3 hours of that deep sleep. So in that deep sleep, you're releasing serotonin, GABA, melatonin, oxytocin. I mean, just everything. And you can actually really feel it. I do, at least, because I'm used to it now. And I know what it feels like to be completely stressed and feel the cortisol in your body, to then feeling the serotonin and dopamine flooding your body. It's profound. It's insane. And we just don't realize how much stress we carry with us all day long.
So the sound bowls are a way of using frequency to help your body heal faster during yoga nidra.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. It's just enhancing everything. I have found, since I started doing yoga nidra several years before I started incorporating the sound bowls, some people, with yoga nidra, it's intended to be very quiet, because we're really quieting down the body, slowing down all the systems happening, kind of almost taking your body to that state of like a coma, where doctors would induce a coma, because your body knows what to do to heal itself. And so I'm kind of taking you to the same state, and everything's very quiet. There are certain parts of the meditation where it needs to be complete silence. Bless you. But I was able to incorporate these sound frequencies in the beginning of the meditation through to the middle. And then we reach a point in the meditation where it's very quiet, very slow. Everything's working at a much slower pace. And your brain is really only kind of working at this level of, like, you hear what I'm saying, your body knows what I'm saying, but you're almost at this point where you're not even making sense of what I'm saying anymore. And that's where we want to be. It seems counterintuitive, but it's your mind, your ego is sort of getting in the way of your healing. And I'm taking you to this place where we kind of remove that, get your ego softened a little, just to allow the healing.
How long is the typical session, and how long does it take to get your brain, the ego, kind of like off to the side and not?
It really depends. I can do sessions anywhere from 10 minutes, like a quick yoga nidra, just to really relax the body. The clients that I have that have really been doing this for a while, they like them to be a lot longer. When you're out, you don't realize how much time is passing. And that was one of the first questions I get as they come back up, like, how long was that? I feel like that was 2 seconds, and it's 45 minutes or whatever. Typically in my classes, where there are group sessions of all, people who have done meditation before, people who haven't, it's typically about a half an hour, maybe a little bit less. As you get more and more into the practice, I will do about 45 minutes. And some of the sequencing is a little bit harder in terms of just deeper for your body and your mind. It's a little bit more spiritual, but for the most part, it's still very science-based. And I'm just guiding you through.
When you're doing it, do you always go in like a certain sequence or a certain order, or does it change based on who's in the room? Or
yes, so the sequencing never changes. There is a very specific sequencing that we do for yoga nidra, where, like I said, it's all aligned with your brainwave activity. So there are certain sequences that we do at the beginning of the meditation, and there are certain ones that we do towards the end and in the middle. But the content, the scripts, what I actually say can vary a ton. I have an unlimited amount, really, of scripting that I use, guided scripting that I use, just depending on what we're trying to accomplish for the day. But the way that it plays out is always sort of like going up and then coming back down.
And then do you ever combine it with other modalities, or do you find that this is the best kind of combination and allows people to sit with it and heal, and then whatever they would want to do next, they whatever?
Yeah. So with private clients, I have a lot more flexibility. With a lot of my private clients, we set it up to really take advantage of a lot of the systems and things that are happening in the body. Like, for example, this practice will speed up your metabolism. So a lot of my clients will like to come after a workout, or we'll do a little yoga prior, get the body warmed up. And then I kind of just take you down from there. And it's really profound to go from this state of active to like, you're on it, to I'm just taking you out and taking you down. You really drop into this meditative state pretty deeply after being in an active state. But we have, also I work with intention-based work. Basically, an intention is similar, for those of you who don't know, it's similar to a goal. However, there's no end point. And so you're really working towards creating something or bringing something into your life or removing something from your life. So we'll do some intention work prior to the session to really get in there, figure out exactly what we want to work on. And that's where a lot of my counseling background comes in. I really get excited about a lot of that too, to kind of just break things down, figure out pinpoint what the exact issue is, and then build an intention around that. And an intention, it can be something that is a felt sense, a vision. It could be words that you create for yourself. It's really what resonates with you most. And so with a private client, it's a lot of fun to really dive deeply into the intention portion of the meditation. It's a very big part of Yoga Nidra and separates that meditation from a regular meditation. With a regular public class, I will still incorporate the intention piece into the meditation, but you are just either feeling the meditation, you are creating words in your head, or you're visualizing something silently, and we don't say it out loud.
So does this involve you saying things out loud then too?
Yes. With it, often I will create a public session based on, one thing that we want to create for ourselves. So actually during COVID, where I wasn't teaching in person, I was doing a lot of sessions online. And so I would create a lot of intentions around stress and anxiety. And so a lot of my classes were stress and anxiety based. That was the intention we were working on, because it was such a common big deal for everyone at that time. It was easy to be able to tailor an entire class around that. Now, obviously people are still stressed and having issues. I would say a lot of my work right now is based on building the immune system and dealing with health issues. Mm-hmm. But I work across the board, and there really isn't a limit to what you can create for yourself or what you want to get rid of. It's fun to really get into it and play around there.
Who is this for? How often do you recommend people doing something like this?
So all ages. I am certified to teach any age. So with younger children, I always kind of cut it off right about age 11. I have 3 daughters myself, so I've kind of been using them to sort of figure this out all along the way. My daughter really started to get to the point where she could kind of understand what was going on in an adult session at age 11. Prior to that, I have tons of scripting for younger kids that's the same as the adults, but we use words that children understand. They're a little bit shorter. The meditations, sometimes they're even a lot shorter. And the sequencing is a lot more visual, which can often be really wonderful for an adult to do as well, because it brings out a playful, childlike side within you. It sort of launches that. And I do some sequencing where we're recovering things that have been lost, and as an adult, I have, a lot of clients have reported during those sequencing in those sessions that they, found a little toy that they hadn't seen since they were a kid, and all the joy and the excitement and, all the emotions and memories that are brought up with that, that's all energy. Right. And it's all, just kind of swimming in that. And so any age really is appropriate. What I love about this practice is because you're laying down, you don't have to have some kind of, ability to, it's been amazing with, people who have cancer and people in a wheelchair. I have gone to, I really love going to elderly homes and, working with them, and they're just absolutely the cutest things ever because they all show up exactly how they are. And to them, this is like crazy woohoo stuff. And it's so surprising to them when they get so relaxed. And, as soon as I start playing the bowls, it's just, you're just sucked into this like feeling of complete calm and relaxation. So I love working with, people who are suffering in some capacity, whether it's physical or mental. Obviously, it works incredible for PTSD and anyone dealing with stress and anxiety. During COVID, that was a big one too, of just dealing with a lot of health issues of all ages.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I think it's still going on.
It is. But I'm starting to see how this practice really, if it's something that you continually keep up, I know that was a question of yours, when people ask me like how often to really develop a practice, it's going to take a practice, right? A lot of people haven't experienced the first time. A lot of people do. But for you to take everything that you did in the session and go out and be protected in life, have that shield around you where you're not getting taken down every single time something happens or whatever stress is going on in the world. It's really building up that shield, which is just practicing. So I personally, I love to do it. And so I really look forward to doing it every day. It isn't something that I have to do. So I do it pretty much. I try to do it daily. I would say 4 to 5 times a week is great. If you can pull that out, even once a week is phenomenal. But to keep it up and develop the practice is really where you're going to start to see most of the benefits happening.
And then,
for sure.
So to do it 4 or 5 times a week, I imagine, excuse me, it's not with you 4 or 5 times a week. So then do you recommend a certain thing to listen to or a certain
yes.
thing to say, and you kind of work with people in terms of how to keep that together?
I do. So I'm just about to launch a subscription-based Nidra where you can actually go online. And if you're feeling stressed today, I have a whole list of, stress reliever Nidras. If you are pregnant and, you're trying to get pregnant or dealing with postpartum or weight loss, or I have all these different categories that I'm building with different Nidras that will have intentions that are specific to that issue. And that should be launching in the next couple of weeks. It's been a challenge, honestly, to get them all recorded. I think I'm my biggest critic when it comes to I'm constantly re-recording them, but I listen to my own meditations. That's how I am able to practice, because there really aren't a lot of people that do this here in the Valley, at least. And once you find someone, then you got to be like resonating with their voice and really feeling that connection there. So it's worked for me immensely. But soon I will have that subscription. In the past, with any private sessions, I would send them home with the recorded version of their meditation. So there will be a lot of opportunity for people to really get into a steady practice with this, for sure.
For each Nidra that you have recorded, how long is it?
It just depends. Again, I have one that's, quick 10-minute, you're sitting at the office and you're stressed. You could do it at your desk. I have ones that are 45 minutes that are a little longer, that are a little bit more, I try to keep it very mainstream, because I realize that not everybody is into a lot of this spirituality stuff. And so, I do have a lot that are right around 30 minutes, some less that are like 20. It really just depends on what you need. I have a Nidra that I absolutely love that will put you to sleep. This one is about 26 minutes. And basically it will guide you through all of the brainwave states, but instead of bringing you back up, which I do at the end of every meditation, I'll kind of slowly start to feel your body, all that. I just let you sleep and it's done. So you're taken to the lowest brainwave state, and then we're done. So you just sleep through the rest of the night. It's phenomenal. It works really well.
So then is it on your phone, or is it like in a
yes.
or how does that work for people?
It will be on your phone. The subscription is the site. It's on my website at shiralign.com. Haven't launched it yet, but it will be on your phone or on your computer. So you just hook up. That's how I listen to it. Just hook up some headphones, get in your bed, get as comfy as possible. That's the key here, is really try to eliminate any, as much noise as you can and getting yourself as comfortable as you can. And that way the body really can kind of fall deeply into this relaxed state. Often that's not possible. And that is also part of the whole experience, is really finding that calm in the midst of whatever is going on around you. So the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Which, yeah, not like anything. So, and then as you have kind of gone through this practice, do you find that certain foods or certain things allow you to be more, I don't know,
absolutely,
be present or something? Or
yes. Well, I guess that's with anything. I'm much more in tune with my body after, doing this practice for so many years. So I can tell when something's off. But to be honest, I think a lot of the, bread, carb here in the US is not so great for us. And that can, affect inflammation in the body, which then can, anytime your body's inflamed, everything's harder. So laying and relaxing while you have an inflamed body isn't the easiest thing to do. It's definitely going to help once you get into the meditation, because this will really help with any kind of inflammation in the body. But I can remember going through times where, it was hard to lay on my back for some reason. My right shoulder hurt, and trying to get past all of that. But yeah, if I'm eating clean, everything else seems to flow. Not even just with meditation. It's really everything else. It's that inflammation in the body that's really struggles. Definitely. But this will also help to cultivate a cleaner appetite, if you will. You're just getting your nervous system calm, which to me, it seems like it feels like the base of everything, right? Once the nervous system is calm, you start creating foods that are healthier for your body. Your cells start speaking up and are saying, hey, we want this. We don't want that. That doesn't feel good. You're sleeping so much better. This practice really trains the body to sleep. So once your body is getting that great sleep every night, you're balanced there, and it's just everything sort of works together. This practice is phenomenal, just in terms of being an addition to anything else that you're already doing. It really just helps to calm everything down, which most of us aren't used to anymore.
Then do you have to learn a certain way to release or to breathe, or is it just natural, or what is that kind of?
It just depends on what the sequencing is calling for. So I will guide you and kind of talk you through when you're doing some different types of breathing. Often I will say, just notice your breath. Notice yourself inhaling, notice yourself exhaling. We have several sequences through the Nidra that I use often that will have you holding your breath. So when you're holding your breath and then you let go, it really kind of helps you drop into this deeper state. I know I have a lot of, working with people with health issues that can't hold their breath. Even just breathing normally through these sequences is so helpful. Or even if you can pause at the top and pause at the bottom of a breath, that's helpful. But you get better and better. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Ujjayi breath in yoga, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. You can make this ocean sound breath. Mm-hmm. You heard of that one. I do that one quite a bit, but it's really more of whatever your body's comfortable with. It's more of getting into a rhythm with your breath.
Awesome.
So there's tons of different stuff you can do.
That we're missing that you want to make sure that we haven't touched on, that you want to make sure that we talk about?
Let's see. Well, you caught me off guard now. I'm not even sure. I have been talking a lot, huh? Are there any questions you have for me?
No. I've been asking questions all along.
Okay. Well, be looking for the subscription. It's coming out soon on my website. Currently, I just have a Tuesday public class on Tuesday evenings at 7. And I do a lot of pop-up classes, public classes as well, and a lot of different events. I have one coming up on January 7th for a New Year intention-based meditation and sound. And I'm partnering with another gal who does frequency work as well, except she has like all kinds of different instruments to use for frequency and vibration. It's going to be phenomenal. We'll work on intentions and just get ready for the new year. So that's January 7th at like 11. And then, if anybody is interested or has questions, they are more than welcome to just reach out to me personally. I'm happy to answer any questions that come my way.
Awesome. So if anybody wants to sign up, they can go to your website, shiralign.com. Mm-hmm. And they'll find you on Facebook, Instagram.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I did get on TikTok, but I haven't really gotten on it yet. I need my kids to TikTok for me because I don't really get that. The whole social media thing is a challenge for me, but it's fun. It's fun sometimes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shira. We really appreciate having you on today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I love what you're doing, and I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.